Hello from Jonathan and from me. Welcome to Tuesday's programme.
A 44-year-old man from Norwich has appeared in court today charged with killing his ex-girlfriend and a former golfing partner.
John Moody is accused of murdering Ken Snell and Karen Brown in Cringleford on Saturday evening. Tonight, her family paid tribute to a loving and generous woman. Malcolm Robertson reports.
John Moody appeared in court for the first time since being charged in connection with a double murder. He was arrested on Sunday morning, some 12 hours after police officers went to a bungalow at Cringleford near Norwich after someone at the house had made a frantic call to the police, claiming they were being attacked. What they discovered in Brettingham Avenue was a scene of carnage. 65-year-old Ken Snell, who owned the bungalow, and a friend, 39-year-old Karen Brown, had both suffered fatal stab wounds. John Moody was in court for less than a minute, during which time the charges were put to him that he murdered Kenneth Snell and Karen Brown. He didn't speak during that time. He was wearing a navy blue crewneck sweater and was unshaven. Security staff in the court had to help him sit down and then again to his feet when he was asked to stand, and the handcuffs were placed on him. There was no application for bail. This afternoon, Karen Brown's family issued this statement. Karen was a great daughter and a great friend who was always full of life. She had a spark and always lit the place up. Everyone felt better for seeing her. 44-year-old John Moody is a former partner of Karen Brown's, and together they ran the Baguette Express shop in Norwich until they split up. Mr. Moody had recently been running the business in the city's Castle Meadow, but it was closed today. It's also emerged that he was a former golfing partner of Ken Snell. They would regularly play together, and this was them pictured during a golfing holiday at the famous St Andrews course 2 years ago. Today, John Moody was remanded in custody and ordered to appear at Norwich Crown Court in a fortnight's time. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News, Norwich.
2 men are recovering in hospital after a huge crane hit a house and then collided with a car in Northamptonshire.
It happened at Rockingham near Corby around 7 o'clock this morning. Emma Baker reports.
This is what was left of an articulated crane after it ploughed into a house and a car in Rockingham this morning.
According to eyewitnesses, the crane had been travelling down this hill when it rode up onto the bank and fell onto its side. It then slid further down the road, and when it got to this point in front of the house, it collided with the car.
The car then burst into flames, which was put out by people living nearby. Their quick actions may well have saved the driver's life.
Just heard a rumbling sound where it hit the house, and I thought it hit our house. Then we come outside and that was on its back and the car was flattened, basically. Thought the man was dead.
The Davis family were inside their home at the time as the 33-ton crane tore off their front porch before tearing into their garden wall.
I heard this almighty bang and the whole house shook behind us, which obviously woke me up. Rushed out of the room, had a look out the window to see what's left of that crane sticking through our garden. First thought was to get the kids to the other side of the house, just in case there was fuel or any other problems was going to happen, and then obviously to check if everybody was okay outside.
Both drivers were hurt in the crash, but incredibly, neither injuries are life-threatening. One man was flown by air ambulance to hospital in Coventry, the other was taken by road to Kettering Hospital. Police have praised the quick action of the fire services and paramedics.
I think it's fair to say that there was a combined effort from the fire brigades from Leicestershire and Northamptonshire. Fire and rescue services did an amazing job this morning to ensure that the drivers were freed as fast as possible, and undoubtedly, we talk about the golden hour, and the work that they did this morning went towards ensuring that they got the appropriate medical treatment as fast as possible.
The road's been closed all day as an investigation has got underway to try to find out what could have caused such an accident. Emma Baker, Anglia News, Rockingham.
A number of operations have been cancelled at Peterborough District Hospital after it lost some of its power supply. Disruptions yesterday were followed this morning by a failure of the backup generator, causing further problems. Patients were being urged not to attend A&E unless it's a critical emergency. But now the generator is working properly again.
A car dealer from Clacton who arranged firebomb attacks on the homes of 2 Essex police officers has been jailed for 18 years. Wayne Taylor paid 2 men to throw milk bottles filled with petrol at the officers' homes in 2006. He blamed the detectives for ruining Christmas after they raided his home. Last month, he was convicted of 2 counts of committing arson with intent to endanger life.
A Norfolk High School teacher has been jailed for 5 years at Norwich Crown Court after admitting 9 sexual offences involving girls aged 15 and 16. Brett Meads, who's taught science at Northgate High School in Dereham, pleaded guilty to 7 offences of sexual activity with the 3 girls and 2 of possessing indecent photos. Meads from Orton Goldhay near Peterborough also taught at Dereham's Sixth Form College. He was put on the sex offenders register. Afterwards, police praised the victim's courage.
We're very pleased with the victims. They've been very brave in this process and coming forward and giving us the evidence. We hope now that they can move on with their lives positively and put this event behind them.
Police investigating the death of a puppy allegedly stamped to death at St Neots in Cambridgeshire have revealed that the dog died from a viral infection. The puppy's owner, 15-year-old April Alderton, said her Jack Russell Sandy was attacked as she walked through a park near her home. However, a medical examination has found Sandy had no broken bones and died of natural causes. Police say they've now closed their investigation into the incident.
Now, Lord Sugar's outburst over the economy while meeting business leaders in Cambridgeshire.
The multi-millionaire entrepreneur and TV star, now a government enterprise guru, was meeting business leaders from our region.
Well, suddenly the mood of the man, famed on TV's Apprentice for his "you're fired" catchphrase, turned distinctly sour as his infamous temper flared. Rhiannon Mills reports.
There was no red carpet, it was strictly light refreshments. And the private jets, well, they're all owned by Duxford. But if you're looking for some big stars, well, there's no shortage of high flyers here. Names like Greg Dyke, the former Director General of the BBC, brought here by the East of England Development Agency to talk about how our region is coping with the recession. Clearly a dirty word for another of the day's big speakers, Lord Sugar.
Can we get off this recession kick once and for all? I don't think we're in one now.
Now a business advisor for the government, he wants us all to start looking up.
You know, recession never stopped me, and I've been through, allegedly, 5 or 6 of them. And you don't know you're in one until you look back on the days that you were doing very well, and you don't know you're out of one until the next one comes along. So a little bit less talk about that now, and let's a bit positive talk of how, of just generally how we're going to go forward in business.
It's clear, though, that some businesses are still going to need rescuing. It's estimated that by the end of the recession, 167,000 people in our region will have lost their jobs. 70% of businesses say that they're operating below capacity, with the worst hit areas manufacturing, construction, transport and logistics. But some experts predict that things should pick up from 2011, with all those lost jobs replaced by 2050.
Yeah, we're optimistic with the future. I think we've got to be, and you know, and Alan Sugar is probably right with trying to shake us all up, with trying to talk up optimism and as opposed to doom and gloom.
Back at the conference, hundreds of delegates were busy networking with some of the best in the business, all with their own top tips.
Being smaller actually makes you much more nimble and flexible. You're able to take opportunities that the big businesses can't. It's like the old adage of whether or not you can turn the big boat around or turn the speedboat around, and the speedboat turns much more quickly.
Look after your staff, make them feel valued. If you've got difficulties, share it with them. Explain it to them. Don't just hold it all to yourself.
So, positive predictions for the future, and there's no doubt that confidence in our region's businesses is rising, with many more than ready to change and embrace the next big R word of recovery. Rhiannon Mills, Anglia News at Duxford near Cambridge.
Well, apologies for the sound on that. We obviously had a few problems. Well, we've just heard Lord Sugar's views on the recession and how it's affected companies here.
Yeah, we could certainly understand what he was trying to say on it, couldn't we? Right, you'd think that with rising unemployment,